as you guys know, today's episode is presented by Mamitas, my favorite hard seltzer on the market. It is so good. I'm only drinking Mamitas these days. And with summer right around the corner, I don't know why you wouldn't stock up on it, because it is the drink of the summer. And nothing says summer more than hard seltzer and tequila. And it comes in 4 delicious, super light, super crisp, refreshing, naturally flavored, gluten-free. There's so many amazing things. It has only less than 1.5 grams of sugar. And, you could drink it in the pool. You could drink it on the boat, at brunch, whether you're pre-gaming, whatever you're doing. And, oh my gosh, wait, I could finally say. So there's 6 flavors, not 4. I have in my notes here that the Spicy Marg and Tequila Sunrise are now officially out. And when I recorded an episode with my coworker Tico, I got these flavors before they were on the market, and I was drinking the Tequila Sunrise one, and I think it's actually my favorite that I've ever had. So don't forget to get yours in an 8-pack now at Target, Walmart, Publix, Jewel Osco, or on GoPuff. And as always, you could do drinkmamitas.com. Hello. Oh, wait. Bonjour, everybody. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity, or this week, Champagne with Publicity, because this is the Paris episode. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize.
We're so sorry.
First of all, not only do we look gross, Jill's with me, we look like we're in... Our hotel looks much shittier than it is.
It's really nice.
It's really nice, but in this video, it literally looks like we're in a Motel 5.
No. That's our balcony behind us. It's très chic. Très chic.
Très chic. We've been sleeping with the door open, which is a little scary. But apparently there's no air conditioning in Europe. So could we get the list out? So I have a list of things that I've been keeping. And I'm gonna upload a full itinerary of my trip, because I know everyone's asking me and sending me recommendations. And obviously I'm not going to tell people where I'm staying, while I'm here.
Wait, but before we dive into the list, could we do a gut check? Are you having a good time?
We're having the best time. We're really living in the moment. This is your sign to go to Paris with your best friend. And what we were saying 10 minutes ago about the calorie, we have not been hard on ourselves about what we're eating, what we're doing. No. We're just we're on vacation. C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. This is also your sign to cash in your credit card points, because those things, they add up real quick. We know you're shopping. Cash them in, book the flight, have a good time. Life is short. Spend it.
Especially because a lot of people were writing to me being like, oh my God, how do you afford this trip? Obviously we work hard and do well, but it's also... I booked my flight on a credit. Jill booked her flight on points. We booked the hotel on points. So we've been able to eat out and do things comfortably. And honestly, I feel like living in New York, our meals have been cheaper here.
Yeah, but not by a lot.
I mean, well, we wouldn't be eating out this much in New York.
Yeah.
But our dinners are substantially cheaper.
Yeah.
If I go out to dinner, drinks with my friends.
Drinks are cheaper. Wine is so cheap.
And we're not drinking that many drinks. We're having a glass or 2 each night.
Plus 18 drinks during the day.
So I have notes of things that I want to discuss. So first of all, the one thing that I feel is an overarching theme is that my newer followers that have come to me since COVID don't know Traveler, Jet Setter, Alyssa.
Travel publicity, because I didn't travel for the last 2 years. This is my second time going international in 2 years. The first one I feel doesn't count because it was the Bahamas, which feels like it's the U.S. for some reason. I don't know why I feel that way. It feels like Puerto Rico, It's because it's a short flight.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, I love this content. And I'm like, it's so funny because the old me would have been doing this for the past 2 years. But I couldn't.
But your when we looked at your old hashtag travel publicity, the content on there was such gold. Premium. Travel publicity is chef's kiss, incredible. So good.
Good to see you back in your natural habitat.
Back in my roots. I have on my list.
Should we talk about Budapest and Prague?
What about it?
What a dope trip that was.
I want to focus on this trip, but basically what we're saying is we've realized that we've had our passport stamped like 4 to 5 times together at this point.
You can see that my butt says A5, my sorority sweat.
Is that bad?
No, it's just weird.
No, I think it's fine.
My sweatpants are 15 years old. That's
look at what we look like. Okay. So what I want to get into is, first of all, do I get into the non-Paris stuff first? Yes, I'll get into the Revolve of it all, and then we'll get into France. So obviously last week's episode, I talked a little bit about Revolve and how they made me feel and yada, yada, yada. The clips went very viral on TikTok. It somehow got their attention. It's so funny. The thing that I was thinking in my head was like, the old me would have died for the chief marketing officer to reach out to me. And now they're reaching out to me under such different circumstances. They did apologize to me, so I wanted to say that, which, you know, I think is cool. And I said to them, I reiterated what I said to you guys to them. And I said, you know, no bad blood. It is what it is. And if you would ever like to hire me to consult on what you should do from a PR, influencer marketing, and public relations standpoint, I am on call to advise you because I think they could use a little bit of it. But I thought it was really, really... Oh, that's when the screenshot was. That's even weirder. Oh my God, guys.
What a day.
Today's been the most wild day in terms of signs, and I'll tell you why we just paused. Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it was right now.
Oh my God, it was 11:11, so we were just freaking out because we keep seeing angel numbers. More on that later. But anyway, so basically, they apologized. I said, let's keep in touch, and we'll see what happens. But that's that. Okay, I want to get into some fun stuff from the trip. So our first day here, like, we're obviously super fucking jet lagged because you basically take a red eye, and our flights left like 6 p.m. New York time. So you're not like really on a regular day falling asleep at 6 p.m. So I slept maybe 30 minutes on the plane.
Do you talk about how we were on separate flights?
Oh yeah.
Separate flights that left at the exact same time.
Small glitch in the system, in the matrix. So I had points, as I said, with United. Jill had points with Delta. Therefore, we flew at the same time from different airports, both from New York, on different airlines.
Yeah.
Which was insane. So I was so jealous because the whole flight I was up and I'm like, this bitch Jill is sleeping. You land, you're like, I didn't sleep. So then I felt not so mad. So we got early check-in, which was like amazing. And we took a little, sorry if you guys hear noise in the background, by the way, there's cabs and stuff going by. We took a little nap. And then
we ate the best breakfast of our life.
We ate the best breakfast. And then later that night, we decide, you know, let's go to bed. So by 10:15, my eyes are rolling in the back of my head because all I had was 2.5 hours of sleep all day. And oh, it was the nap.
It was the nap. I'm like, we went to bed.
Oh my God, I'm getting everything confused. So we're taking the nap when we get to the hotel.
Hold on.
We tell the story.
Hi, welcome to the Jill podcast.
Oh my God, I'm just out of it.
Okay, so we get to the hotel. We checked in at 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. We were so tired. So we were like, okay, we're going to take the nap right now, and then we're going to go get breakfast and live the whole day out. We're going to sleep for 2 hours. That's it. But when you travel internationally, like, the outlet power charging situation is like a little hairy. So we have like a limited number of chargers, a limited number of outlets, whatever. So my phone's charging on the other side of the room, and I set an alarm for 12 p.m. to wake up. And the alarm goes off, and I get up out of bed.
Keep in mind, we only had slept 2 hours, so like it felt like you're in the deepest of sleep when the alarm goes off.
Yeah, we were conked out. So I get up to turn off the alarm just so it stops beeping. And I roll over and I say to Alyssa, do you have your phone by you? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, set it for 5 minutes so we can snooze for 5 minutes. And then we're going to get up and live the day. And she's like, okay, no problem. I got it. And in my head, I just knew that she was lying to me.
Okay.
So I closed my eyes for a millisecond and I'm like, Alyssa, did
no,
you set
I
the
think
alarm?
it was like 15 minutes went by.
No, you were like, it's 12:04.
Did I?
Yeah. And then we woke up and I was like, did you set the alarm? She's like, no.
No, but okay, in my defense, what was she thinking? So let's play this back. And we played this back many times. What was she thinking? Her alarm went off. I'm in a dead sleep. Hit snooze. Like, why am I gonna wake my ass up, set my phone for 12:05,
in her tiny room.
set my alarm for 12:05 so I could wake myself up so I could wake myself up to fall back asleep to wake myself back up again. Like, the logic made no sense for me to wake up and set my alarm.
In your hand, it was a 5 minute.
It wasn't in my hands. I was so conked out. And then my other argument was, I was like, bitch, I wanted to sleep more, so I lied to you. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I said it.
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, I said it. Let's go back to bed. So that was our first little thing. The second day, and again, I'll give you guys a comprehensive itinerary, but the second day, we went to Versailles and we bought tickets for a bike ride around Versailles.
For context, Alyssa loves nothing more than to bike. We bike
City biking.
City bike. We bike at a shore, obsessed with a bike. Versailles was the first thing that we booked right after we booked flights, and we booked these specific tickets that was you can have access to Versailles and then bike the gardens of Versailles. And we were like, oh, that sounds beautiful.
I'm like, I don't want to walk that much.
Yeah, nice way to get around.
Let's bike. We get to Versailles. We see the inside of the mansion. I kept calling it the house. We see the inside of Versailles. It's pretty. It's cool. And then we let's go see the gardens, which weren't really that bloomed. I wouldn't say April is prime time garden time here. Mm-hmm. And we get out there and we look on the map and it's pick up your bikes over here. It's 1.5 miles away. It was.
It's hard to tell how big they are, on how big the gardens are on the map. It was a little disorienting. So we make our way to the edge where we think we can get the bikes.
Edge of existence. No one is on these.
We're
pebbles.
Weaving through hedges. We get to the end and they're like, this is the exit. If you want to get bikes, you got to go back and all the way, acres away. And when you pick up the bikes, you can't bike in the garden. You can only bike in the distant forest.
So at this point, our dogs were barking. Our feet were crying to be alleviated. So we were I'm thinking, oh fuck, I gotta walk around these fucking gardens now.
I'm thinking, fuck, I do not want to get on a bike.
But no one's explained. So we're walking, pretending to look at the gardens, being so pretty. And then I just looked at Jill and I was like, you want to get out of here? And she's like,
I said, you want to get out of here? And she goes, oh, it's already been decided. We're not biking.
Yeah, I was like, you thought it was still an option to bike? The second she told me we couldn't ride the bikes in the vicinity, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's why we got the bikes so we don't have to walk these acres. So the best decision was going quickly through Versailles. Also, people lie. People are like, Versailles is a day trip. It's 25 minutes outside the city. We saw the mansion. We took dope photos. We saw the gardens. And we bounced. Then the best thing that we did, which was we bought cheese, baguettes, chocolate, jam, strawberries.
Wine.
And
a wine opener.
Ooh, wine opener cups.
Cups.
Cutlery. That's what they called it. And we made a picnic and we ate outside the Eiffel Tower, and that was we were what a day. We went from Versailles to picnicking outside the Eiffel Tower, and that was just the best.
Magic.
So then from there we took a pedicab
Wait, we also, before we talk about the cab, need to talk about how Alyssa has the best sense of it's not really direction. It's like she just, I don't know if it's just Paris. Like she's just
No,
like,
this is just me.
oh, if we just walk down the street, we just make a left. I remember it's the Rue de
Rivoli.
Revolve. I don't know. And she's like, and then right here, I remember this is the best store ever. And like, it is. This girl hasn't been here in years,
really
and
weird.
she like no, it's very bizarre. So
yeah.
we are trying to find the market to get the food for the picnic, and we turn down the corner, and we see like a bunch of people who are like, oh, it's over there,
And like
she's
a fence, like it's like kind of blocked off.
she's like, I feel like I've kind of been here before. We turn the corner, and it's like the most incredible photo spot, like a view of the Eiffel Tower.
It was like specifically blocked off so people could like walk on the cobblestone and take pictures with like cascading trees and like the Eiffel Tower. It was stunning. This is us thinking at the same time. And we both at the same time were like, this reminds us of that street in Dumbo, New York, where everyone takes pictures in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. Or is it's a Manhattan or Williamsburg? Manhattan
Bridge, yeah.
That picked like that spot in
Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Where Dan Humphrey lives.
And we both like had the same thought. We were like, this is that street in Paris. And then we obviously, so we were leaving sorry, my back hurts. We were leaving the Paris picnic and
the PP.
we were getting an Uber, and then this guy was like riding like in this pink pedicab, and he's like, you want to ride? And we look at each other and we're like, yeah. We're like, how much? He's like, €25. So the Uber was like $8, but we were like, fuck it, for the experience, like it's worth the extra money, so let's ride it. We put on our silk scarves. We Thelma and Louise it. His hairy ass crack is hanging out the entire fucking time. Like, in our faces, I'm crying like a baby, like so immature.
He knows we're American. He's playing 50 Cent and T-Pain.
I forgot about that. So we rock up to our hotel, and he's like, okay, €50. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, €50, 25 each. And we're like, It
was a 5-minute ride. Like, we were so close.
No, Jill, he was working his ass off to get us up those hills.
Yeah, but then he rode downhill.
I know, but like, I mean, he really put some. I thought there was a motor on that thing.
It was
It could not have been
the
easy.
hair in his butt was giving him energy.
And we were just, so he tried to rip us off, and then we just were like, no. And we walked away.
He was like, okay.
Yeah, he was like, all right, fine. Yeah, I lied. Also, the Ubers here, every time we get an Uber, the driver gets out, they open the door. It's a Mercedes-Benz.
It's
class. Like the nicest BMW 5 Series.
Yeah.
It's just like
they've been beautiful.
So fancy here.
They give us water, like not like sketchy in New York.
Yeah.
When like this guy was just like, "Oh, would you like a bottle of water?" And we were like,
that really French guy that could hardly speak English, but he kept giving us recommendations.
He kept trying.
Yeah, that was cute. The other thing about, I'm not going in order. The other thing specifically like about Paris that we can't seem to get right is the timing of the city, because I made 7 p.m. dinner reservations. I know 7 p.m. isn't early and it's not late, but I was thinking we're going to be jet lagged, so like I don't know if we're going to want to do 8 or 9 p.m. dinners like when we're tired. That just doesn't seem like legitimate for me.
And like 7's good if we want to go out after. Like it's
so
normal dinner time.
It felt right to me. Every time we show up at a restaurant at 7 p.m., they're just opening their doors. So if you're there at 6:58, you're too early.
They won't let you in.
It's so weird. We're like, what the fuck time do people eat? So then we go eat breakfast one morning, and we go at like 10:30, and they're like, the kitchen's closed. So we're thinking, wow, they eat breakfast late too. Like, what time are these people eating? So then today we go to breakfast at 11, and the guy laughs in our faces,
So rude.
and he's like, you missed breakfast.
He's like, it's 11 a.m. What are you doing?
Like, what do you mean you're eating
What do you
breakfast?
mean?
It's 11. And we're like, well, yesterday we went at 10:30 and the kitchen was not open yet. And we think we figured out they eat breakfast from like 7:30 to like 9:30. So we're actually missing breakfast hour. I don't know. We can't get the timing right. Like,
did we only eat 2 meals today?
Yeah. Big ass meals though. We had a fucking croque monsieur. A frites.
We did an 8-course dinner.
We had frites dipped in ketchup and mayonnaise, a croque monsieur, eggplant parmesan, little neck clams and linguine,
arancini, ossobuco.
What else?
Ossobuco and a Kinder Surprise.
What's an ossobuco? The beef?
The waiter goes, let me cut this for you. And he comes over and he starts cutting it in half. And we're both like, no!
Because we wanted to take an Instagram picture of it. And then he got really, like, offended, I think.
Yeah, he never came back.
So, yeah, we can't... Not only can we not figure out the time, I cannot figure out the language. I try, and I have the worst French accent, and I keep... Okay, so there's a few things I'm missing up in my head. Mm-hmm. So, when you say merci beaucoup, that is thank you very much, or thank you so much. And when you say bonjour, that's hello. And then we went to a restaurant called Monsieur Bleu. So, merci beaucoup and Monsieur Bleu...
Classic.
Kind of sounds like. And I noticed yesterday I kept almost saying to strangers, Monsieur Bleu. Which is literally the name of a restaurant. And then also yesterday, I walked up to a woman, and instead of saying bonjour, I said, merci beaucoup, which means thank you so much. Like, that's how I greeted her without saying hello. And then I noticed I took 1 year of Italian, like 3 years of Spanish. I obviously speak not well, not great English. And now I know a little French. And by a little French, I mean
little French.
8 words. I keep speaking a mixture of all of the languages. Like, instead of saying, like, pardon me, I don't even know if that's correct, I say, scusi, which is Italian for excuse me. What did I say in Spanish the other day? I don't know.
I keep thinking about, sorry, totally unrelated, but that lobster tonight, how you were like, we're just going to have a little. So the waiter comes, we sit down and the waiter comes over with the, can I talk about this?
Does this position hurt? The position in which we're podcasting in is killing my back. We got to sit up. Wait, but we can't let our boobs show. We're not wearing bras. We're gonna roll. Hold on. Intermission.
1 hour later.
Can we get into bed? It's $400.
Hold on. Oh, it's so fucking hot in here. I'm sweating. Here. You gotta come. Wait. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're back from intermission.
We're out of breath.
I'm like, so tell them about the lobster.
Okay, so we sit down. This is a really nice restaurant. And the waiter comes, like, behind me, and he's holding a huge silver platter. Huge. And on the silver platter, but we're sitting down, he's standing up, and he's 7 feet tall and the most gorgeous Frenchman we've ever seen. And on the platter is a whole fish and an enormous crustacean lobster. Huge with...
Crustacean,
like a lobster.
Huh.
And the lobster's antennas are dangling off, like, on my shoulder. And I jumped. I was like, oh my God, what is that? And he's just, like, waving the lobster at me.
And he's also holding big sea bass.
So he's trying to explain, like, it's a special of the night, and it's, I don't know how much money, but we're not really thinking about it. Like,
because I'm like, we're not getting a fucking 10-pound lobster.
Crustacean. So we get the menu. We're looking at it. One of the things on the menu was a spicy lobster pasta, and it says 38/100, but, like, it says to share. So we're like, oh, if it's like $100, like, that's a lot, but whatever.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking it was $38 for some spicy lobster pasta.
I was kind of thinking that too.
I was thinking, like, when you go to a restaurant and they have, like, lobster ravioli.
Yeah. So
you know?
So we order it.
Well, we tried.
We tried to order it.
I was like, we'll have the lobster pasta.
And he's like, great. Just want to let you know, it's going to be, like, 400 something euro. And Alyssa's like, no, we just want a little. He's like, no,
is? And she's like, right, it says 38 on the menu. So, like, we just want, like, the $38 amount. And he's like, it's $38 euros per
ounce,
100
like
grams of lobster. You have the whole lobster.
This is why I was confused, okay? I'm like, no, we want the lobster pasta. I thought we were getting confused with the lobster special, which was the full shebang. The 10-pound lobster, the sea bass, the this, the that. So I'm like, no, we just want the the $38 lobster. And he's like, it's 400 euro. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna skip that. And we just kept it moving. But he was the hottest man I think he was the hottest waiter we've had this entire time.
No, the hottest man was the man who worked at the gift shop at Versailles when our credit cards got declined.
No, nothing compared to this man tonight. For any of my Love Island UK fans, he looked like Millie's boyfriend Liam. Get the list back out.
Okay.
So tonight was fun. Again, we'll be on the itinerary. Let's see what else we have on here.
That's the French.
Oh, Leonard Sasso. We got to talk about him. Okay, so I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but like I come from fashion blood. There's Anna Wintour, there's Karl Lagerfeld. There's Anna Wintour. Okay. There's Anna Wintour.
There's Alyssa Amoroso.
There's Karl. And there's Leonard Sasso. And Leonard Sasso is in my bloodline.
How are you related?
And he is the inventor of stirrups, aka the leggings with the straps, the ones that go around, your foot. But we don't know, like me and my sister don't know if this is like a made up tale, but apparently, I don't know whose side. Oh, he's on my grandma's side. So my mom's grandma's cousin, Leonard, invented stirrups. We can't find it on Google. We have nothing but their like word, but we do believe that we come from a fashion icon in the Amoroso family. So I was wearing a very Kim K, Norma Kamali bodysuit look with stirrups, and that was I was playing homage to, is it homage or homage?
Homage.
I was playing homage to the late Leonard Sasso.
You're really bringing back his legacy.
I know. I feel like people deserve to know who he is.
Can we talk about that?
The wanting to smoke cigarettes?
No.
Okay, let me talk about the cigarettes and then we'll talk about the man from India and the girl. So, just a sidebar. I've never wanted to smoke a cigarette in my life. Never really have. Boy, would I love to rip a bogue in Paris.
No, there's something about like the cafe outdoor seating, like you just want to be like
there's
with the red lipstick.
Like I don't want the taste in my mouth. I want the act of smoking in a beret. Mm-hmm. Like every time we sit and they put an ashtray on our table, I wish I had something to light up and put in there. Just me. Okay. So the last two stories that I want to talk about, I bought a Chanel bag.
Surprise!
So I've always said that I want to buy myself a Chanel bag, and it was something that's like I wanted to buy for myself. Like obviously, like my husband will buy me 10 more, but I wanted my first one to come from me.
I don't care to God's ears.
I don't care if my second one comes from a sugar daddy or what, but I wanted my first one to be like hard earned, like a representation of like a gift for myself. And what's better than one, you get a discount when you buy in Paris because they're marked down a little bit. 2, it's a French brand. And 3, what's like more iconic than buying a Chanel bag in Paris? So we're online for this Chanel.
This is the 3rd Chanel store we've been in and 2nd time we've been in this one.
Yeah, and it's taking forever.
We didn't take the decision. Alyssa didn't take the decision lately.
So we're in line. We're waiting like 35 minutes. And we start talking to these 2 girls from Hungary. And they're really nice. And they're there. We're there. I don't remember who comes first. Apparently they did, according to Jill.
We were sitting on the couch when we sat on the couch next to them.
And it was taking a long time. And I was like, I'm just going to go check. So I go up to the front and I'm like, hey, like, what's taking so long with the list? And they're like, oh, you're next. So I come sit back down and I'm like, oh, we're next, Jill. And then the girls kind of look at each other like, if they're next, when are we going? So they go and they check and it turns out they never put their name on the list. This is also why I didn't feel bad, by the way. So they did put their names on the list. So they're just sitting there. 10 minutes later, a sales associate comes up to me and she's like, Miss Amoroso, we're ready for you. And Jill looks at these two girls from Hungary and goes, why don't you two go first?
No, I said, what about them? Because they were there before us. In my defense. Okay, you have to understand how, we didn't realize this, like, the inventory is...
No, I did.
No, not you. The inventory is so limited, they literally have, like, one of each bag.
They have, like,
it was
two black bags in the entire store.
It was, like, the Hunger Games in there. And we were sitting on the couch, like, watching this family try on these two very cute bags. Alyssa, like, really liked both of them. And while we're all like the two girls from Hungary, us, and then the girls who were trying on the bags, like we were all talking like, oh, that's a beautiful bag, you know? And the girls from Hungary were like, what bag are you interested in? And Alyssa was like, I really like that bag over there. What are you interested in? And she was like, I want something really special. We haven't like seen it here yet. Like it's very,
like the Chanel 19 or
it's
something.
It's like a very unique one, whatever. So I didn't feel like Alyssa's dream bag was a threat. Like we weren't going to fight over the same purse.
But that girl, the girl before me that was holding my now purse, was so close to getting it, too.
It was
it was literally the Hunger Games. Like, I was like, whichever one this girl doesn't take, I'm going home with.
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad, even though one of them was double the price. So I'm happy she went with the more expensive one. So I'm sitting there, and Jill's like, you guys should go. And I'm like... I felt
throwing daggers,
Satan rising in my soul. Like I am normally a generally like polite person, will let you cut me in line, and I was like, I looked at them and I wasn't even nice. I was like,
is that why you texted me okay when I said Mazel Tov?
No, I wasn't mad at all, but I was just like, I will kill for this bag. Like, so I'm like, my blood's boiling, and I'm like, I look at them and they're like, no, like you go, and I'm like, yeah, Jill, let's go. Whereas the polite thing would have been like, it's okay, and like at least pretended to be like casual about it. But I was like, I will die for this bag right now. So I did. We went. They couldn't find what they were looking for, and I bought the bag.
Okay, you didn't just buy the bag.
I did not just buy the bag.
We get the bag. The sales associate, shout out to Cecilia, nicest lady ever.
And we've named my bag after her, Cecilia.
So they come out, they're like, would you like champagne? We're getting 5-star treatment. Incredible. We are sitting in the back. It's beautiful.
Jill's taking pictures of me.
I was like, this is an incredible... if you don't know me, I'm like so cheesy. I'm like, this is an incredible moment. What an accomplishment. Cheers. Alyssa's just like jittery. And the lady's like, okay, now
I'm having massive anxiety because I've convinced myself that my card's going to decline.
Yeah.
I'm like, my bank is going to think it's fraud alert for dropping this much money in like Paris in one sitting.
Then the sales associate is like, you have your passport, right? And Alyssa's like, no. She's like, well, we're going to need your passport to like, I don't know, the tax.
Oh, and we close in an hour. I'm like... bitch, I gotta get back to the hotel. Could you hold it for an hour? She's like, yeah, but I won't be here, but I'll tell someone else. I'm like, she's like, but just enjoy your champagne. I'm like, I don't have time to enjoy my champagne. I gotta get my passport. I gotta the eagle needs to land. I need to secure the bag, literally. So I look at Jill. I'm like, we gotta chug. We drink our champagne. We put it down. We're off. I come to the hotel. I change in 30 seconds because I had to go to dinner after. This is where things really get interesting. My whole day takes a turn. And so basically, I change in 5 minutes, throw my hair up, put a blazer on, head to Chanel. I'm at Chanel. I'm back in line now, waiting again. I was like, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. They finally come and get me. I meet another girl in line from LA. She bought the tan bag, by the way, that I had tried on. Which is funny. Yeah. Oh. So she's checking out. We're like talking about how she's like, are you paying USD or Euro? We don't know what we're doing. We're discussing. I finally give them my passport, pay for the bag. At this point, Jill's back at the hotel getting ready for dinner. And I was like, just meet me at dinner. I secure the bag. I'm high on life. I'm taking pictures of my Chanel in front of the store for memories. And I'm so excited. And I'm walking to dinner to meet Jill. She's taking an Uber. And I just sit at a bench because, again, timing. It's 6:45 and I look and the restaurant says open until 7. So I know I have 15 minutes because, God forbid, I show up at a restaurant at 6:45. I'm not going to be let in. So I'm sitting on a bench in the most beautiful part of Paris. And this, like, really, like, I would say he was, like, attractive, like a nice looking young man walks up to me. He doesn't really walk up to me. Yeah, he does. He walks up to me and he's like,
this guy's so hot? Or
no, I didn't think anything of it. I thought like he was going to like ask for money or something. He didn't look like he would ask for money, but just when someone approaches you normally, you're like, what do you want?
Like directions?
Or I'm like, what are you going to sell me? You know, like you just feel. So I'm just like, what's he going to rip? What kind of pamphlets this guy about to rip out?
Take a moment to talk about our loans.
So he was like, you have a very... No, he goes, you have a very kind face or something. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. And he's like, yeah, like, I live in India. I'm a, I don't know what he called it, like a face. Like, I read people's faces based off their foreheads and their expressions. And I could just tell that you're very kind-hearted. Like, he starts saying something. So now... I'm like, oh, that is so sweet of you. Like, thank you so much. And normally the old Alyssa would have been like, all right, freak. Like, you know, you get kind of scared when someone, like, says something like that. But I've been on this, like, spiritual awakening. So I'm like, a sign. Like, so I start listening to him. And then he sits down next to me. And he started reiterating stuff to me that Laura, my psychic friend, and, like, other mediums and psychics have said to me in the past. Which was, like, interesting. He was like... yeah, like, you have a really great mind, but you think too much. Like, everyone always tells me I think too much. He's like, you need to stop. Like, you need to trust, whatever. I won't get into the semantics, but basically, he takes out a notepad, and he's like, I know you have no reason to believe me, so I just want, I want to give you a reason. I know you don't believe me, so I'm going to, like, write down some things, and, like, maybe you will at the end, but... you have no reason to trust me. So he's like, what's your favorite number? So I'm like going back in my head. I'm like, is it 2? Is it 7? Is it 21? Like, I'm trying to think. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, do you mean between 10 or just any number? Oh, wait, I missed a part. Before he started asking me these questions, he took out his notebook and he jotted down something just quick, like dun 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 dun, folded it up and handed it to me. And then he started asking me questions. So I'm holding this crumbled up little piece of paper. And he's like, what's your favorite number? I say 21. What's your favorite flowers? I say peonies. How old are you? I say 31. And then he goes, what are you looking for do you want success? Do you want wealth? Do you want love? And I said, well, I feel like I have, like, success and, like, I'm on my way financially. I'm like, so honestly, the only thing missing is, like, I really want love. And then he's like, it'll come. Like, I think the next 3 months are going to be really big for you, which is weird because another psychic had just told me that these next 3 months were going to be really big for me. And so, like, he's just telling me all of these things about myself. And then towards the end of our conversation, he's like, you could open up the note in your hand now. And I open up the note, which he had wrote down
Go get it.
before we spoke. And it literally said, 21, 31, peonies, love. Like, he knew all the answers before he even asked me the questions. And I burst into tears. Like, I just have never felt such, like, a flooding of them. I was absolutely shook to my core. And he's like being nice, and I'm crying, and I'm like, you're such a gift. Like, you have such a gift. And he's like, thank you. Like, I said, thank you for stopping me. He goes, you didn't stop me. I stopped you. He goes, you didn't. I didn't stop you. You were sitting there. I stopped for you. And I was like, I want you to meet my friend Jill. And he's like, this doesn't just happen. Like, I can't arrange this. Like, it just has to happen spontaneously. And I was like, well, I want to thank you so much. And then, like, I felt bad because he wanted me to donate to his, like, schooling where he teaches people how to do this in India. And I honestly would have given this man the world because I was so astonished. But I didn't have any cash or anything on me. So he gave me his WhatsApp number. And he's like, text me when you need guidance.
He said, text me for life updates.
Yeah, text me when you need life updates.
I love that.
I'm like, what? So I'm sobbing. He's telling me that I have to believe in God and the universe and whatever. We part ways. Jill's texting me like, where are you? Like, why aren't you at dinner?
She's like, I'm on a bench right outside the restaurant. No, there's a bench. It's empty.
So Jill's looking for me. Meanwhile, I'm sobbing on a street corner with this man. I rock up to dinner. I'm like, just bought a Chanel. Just met like this spiritual man. I'm like, what?
What a day.
The hell just happened? What the hell just happened? So that was my time in Paris. 10/10. Do you love the trip, Jill?
1 trillion out of 10. Having the time of my life for so many reasons. Like, everything compounded. It's just been the most incredible vacation, trip, whatever you want to call it. And
yeah, you guys, one thing we have to tell you guys, you have to go to Crazy Horse if you come.
Incredible, like, burlesque style show.
It was it was so cool.
Good. It was so good.
Like, our entire itinerary, honestly, I would copy it if I were you when I post it. Like, if you're gonna come here, you should do every single thing we did, right? The
food's been amazing. When I got here, the customs guy, he was like, how long are you gonna be in Paris? And I was like, 5 days. And he was like, that's way too long. It's been purely perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely not too long. I just love it here. So that's that. I will be back in studio the next time you guys hear from me. And thanks for supporting me and listening.
We have 36 more hours here, so
I know.
Anything could happen.
A lot could happen. Maybe I'll text Amir. Amir is my my new spiritual advisor from India. All right, guys. Love you. I will see you back in New York next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.